Okay. Hey, everybody. Hey, cats and kittens. It's T Bear here with my buddy Walter Trout in Denmark. I'm in LA, and I've come out of hibernation to have this Fresh Bear Tracks album coming out early in January or February of this coming year. And this particular little podcast is called The Bear Facts. So we're here with Walter Trout, my buddy. And if you don't know who Walter Trout is, let me just give you a little bit about him. He has played with John Mayall. He has played with John Lee Hooker. He's played with, God almighty, Canned Heat, everybody in the world. He has 29 solo albums. He has had his life saved by a liver transplant that was organized through Curtis Delgado, Tony Bronigal, and his wonderful wife, Marie. And he is one of my buddies for a long time. He's had a slew of number one albums in the blues charts. And he's won so many awards starting in 2014, number one, 15, 16, 17, 18. Finally, they had to take him out of the categories because he won all the awards and was number one. So, ladies and gentlemen, with no further ado, the probably best blues guitar player and singer I know right now that's working out there, Walter Trout. Hey, Walter.
Well, I don't know how to even follow that intro, Richard, but thank you. That was a good intro, man.
Thanks,
I enjoyed
man.
it.
So you're in Denmark. I'm in LA.
Yeah, I'm in Denmark. My wife and I came over here in the middle of July, really. As you said, I had a liver transplant, and because when you have a transplant, you are on immunosuppressant drugs for the rest of your life. So I'm very susceptible to colds, viruses, infections. My wife also has some immune problems. So we have a house over here. My wife is a Danish citizen, and we are up in the very northwest corner of the country in a little fishing village. There's hardly any virus here. We're right on the edge of a national park. If you walk out our back door, you step directly into these beautiful giant sand dunes, and you cross those for a quarter mile and you're at the North Sea. And it's very different here. We're sequestered and locked down and just waiting for life to get back to some semblance of normal. It's we're a lot safer here than we were in Huntington Beach, where we live. But I do miss so much about touring and making music and being with my band and being with all my friends back there, like you and everybody. And but life is on hold right now for all of us, right?
Yeah, it definitely is. So you're living in a fishing village in the north of Denmark. Is it a requirement that you be a fisherman?
No, but you can certainly get some really good fresh fish here. These guys go out in the morning, and then in the early afternoon, they come back up on the beach in their fishing boats and sell the fish right to you. I mean, it's really like going back through time.
A lot of people don't know this about me. Here's a fact that I usually end with this, but I'm going to ask you a question about something that nobody knows about you. So this is something that nobody knows about me. I am a avid deep sea and saltwater fisherman, and I have fished around the world, made my own lures, and entered a lot of marlin contests. So the Walker's Hay tournament, the Bisbee, and I fished all over the world. And the definition of a fisherman, in case you don't know this, is it's a jerk on one end of the line waiting for a jerk on the other end. So
okay. Well, you would love this place where we are, because that's what the whole place is about,
yeah, that's great. Well, listen,
And
you have a new album. We both have new albums coming out. You
we both
played, yeah, you played on my album, Fresh Bear Tracks. Tell us about the experience of coming in and playing with Tony and Johnny and me.
Well, that was really fun. I had a couple of days off between tours, and I was glad I could fit it in. You know, I was really working hard with my band, but I had a little time off, and I came up to the studio there, and I was in there with Tony and Johnny Lee and you, and I was thinking to myself, you know, I have these friends in LA, and these are three of like the heaviest musicians that I know, and I was almost a little intimidated. The songs are so great, and I was like, I gotta play good on this record. You know, this is a grade A production going on here with the main guys, and I have to do good on this record. So I had a great time, but I was a little intimidated. And I've been on stage with members of the Rolling Stones and Fleetwood Mac and BB King and all these other people, but I was a little nervous that day.
Oh my God, you didn't show it. I mean, you played your ass off. You hit notes that were, I mean, it was, you know, you listened to the song once and then you started to play and you went, and it was second take or third take, the solos were done. You played on everything perfectly. You're on a track with Stephen Stills called "Give It Up." You both are playing lead guitars together. It's a duet, you and Stephen, by the way, on that track.
Wow.
And I didn't know that you knew that, but
I didn't.
yeah, right after you recorded that, you know, your solos and things, because Stephen and I wrote that song together, "Give It Up." So I went up to his house, brought the hard drive, and he laid some guitar with you. And he turned to me and he said, "Who's that other guitar player?" I said, "Well, that's Walter Trout." He says, "Well, why the fuck do you need me?" You know? And
Really?
yeah.
I'm like the guy's biggest fan, man.
Oh yeah. And so
I swear to God, I'm the guy's biggest fan. When I was 18 and I was being like trying to get somewhere in music, and I used to play in these little coffee houses
Sure.
In Jersey, and I was a folk guy.
Yeah.
I was the only local guy in South Jersey who knew the tuning of Sweet Judy Blue Eyes in 4 and 20. I actually knew that tuning, and everybody else was doing it in a drop D. And I'd walk into these coffee houses and go, "Hey man, that ain't it. Here it is.
That ain't it."
So I'm one of his all-time biggest fans. So that's really awesome. Thanks.
Yeah, that was really nice. You played on other things, but I just wanted to let you know about that one. So you know, you have a new album coming out. I think this is number 29 or 30. Is it?
Number 29. It's been out for, I don't know, like 3 weeks or a month, something like that.
Tell us all the name of that album.
That album is called Ordinary Madness. And I wrote the whole thing. I wrote 4 of the songs with my wife. She's become quite a lyricist. We've kind of become a team with that. And I had one song that I thought was a beautiful melody, just a really good melody, but I had no words. I didn't know what to do with it. And she said, "Play it for me again." And I played it, and she walked out of the room and came back a half an hour later and said, "Here's your lyrics." And it's called "Heaven in Your Eyes."
Ooh.
It's on YouTube, and you can check it out. And she really, you know, she's a writer. She has a book out that your wife, Nina, helped her edit some years ago.
Right.
She's ready to put her second book out, and she's had articles published in Classic Rock magazine and some other places. But being a lyricist, this is a new thing for her.
Well, tell us the name of that book so folks can check it out.
That book is called "The Blues: Why It Still Hurts So Good," and it was her dissertation for her PhD. And it was it took her my goodness, like 4 years to do the research on it. And she interviewed and sent surveys out to over 1,000 blues fans through the internet and through blues websites and stuff. And she did a lot of gathering of data. What is it they get out of it? What groups of people like it? What put it in a societal history of how the blues has gotten to where it is today, and what the majority of the blues audience is today. And it was quite a piece of work she did, and I was quite proud of her.
She's an amazing woman. I mean, she's so devoted to you, to what you do, to your family, to your kids. It's a love story for the ages. I got to tell you, as far as
I,
I'm concerned.
yeah, I'll tell you a funny story. I was 1990. I was playing a music festival in Denmark. There were 2,000 people in this big room, and there was this beautiful blonde in the back of the room, and her eyes and my eyes were meeting over the sea of people. And she started, this is weird, she started walking toward the stage, and the audience parted like the Red Sea, and she was standing there, and I said, we need to talk. And she and I talked for about 45 minutes. And I said, you're going to move to America. We're going to get married. We're going to have children, and we're going to get old together. To which, of course, she said, my goodness, dude, you are really crazy. I just met you. I just met you 45 minutes ago. And I said, you have no say in this. This is going to happen. And here we are 30 years later with 3 kids and still love her to death,
What?
So
You know what? I so admire marriages and relationships like that. I play with Denny Seiwell, and
yeah.
and Denny's married 52 years.
Wow.
I play with Laurence Juber in this in this
Yeah.
in this band we have called Route 66, and he's married 36 years. So
Yeah.
it's I love stuff like that. It's when you find your soulmate and you find that one, it's a
Yeah.
beautiful thing. I have a line.
Yeah.
I'm writing a song now, and it's a line, in a crowded room, you're all that I can see. And
Yeah.
that's exactly what happened with you and Marie.
Yeah. Yeah. That was it, man. And when I tell that story, people think I'm exaggerating about the audience parting and the whole thing, but it really was like that,
That
man.
happens. That happens. That happens.
Now it does take work, being with somebody for years and years. She and I have gone to couples therapy at times, and we've had our, blowouts, but neither of us are going anywhere. Um,
Exactly. Exactly.
it's pretty
Exactly.
beautiful thing, really.
So, as we end this, and I got to tell you, I'm so grateful to know you as a friend, and we've written songs together, and I have a song on your #1 album. We're all in it together, the duets album, and we called The Other Side of the Pillow, and that's a great, great album, by the way.
Oh, well, thanks.
People should pick up on that. That was a #1 blues album, and what I got to ask you is something I ask all the cats and kittens that I know on these interviews and things, is tell me something that nobody knows about you.
Well, I'll tell you, a couple people know this story, but I think it's kind of a funny story.
Okay.
It's a celebrity sighting, a celebrity experience. It was 1975. I had been in California for a year, and I went to LAX to pick up a friend of mine. Back then, before 9/11, you didn't go through security. You could walk right up to the gate and greet them as they get off the plane. So I drove up to LAX from Huntington Beach, and I was on the escalator, and I looked, and standing next to me was Kirk Douglas. And I thought to myself, everybody goes, "Oh, Mr. Douglas, this and that." And I thought, I'm going to try to make him laugh. I will try to make this guy laugh. And I thought of my favorite, maybe my favorite movie in history, Spartacus.
Okay.
But Tony Curtis has a line in there where it's not meant to be comical, but he's got this Brooklyn accent, right? He sounds like one of the Sopranos or something, but he so I thought of this line and the way Tony Curtis delivered it. And I looked right over at Kirk Douglas and I said, "I love you, Spartacus." And he looked at me and he hauled off running, man. It scared the shit out of this dude, and he just took off as fast as he could go. And I felt really bad. My goodness, I scared the man.
Yeah,
well, anyway,
your
I
New
got to
Jersey
the
came
game.
out of you.
The New Jersey came out of me, and well, you're New York, I'm Jersey. So hey, how you doing?
How you doing? How you doing?
But anyway, I get to the gate where I'm going to meet my friend, and there's Kirk Douglas waiting for somebody at the same gate. And he saw me and he got really tense and really nervous. And I just felt really bad because I inadvertently scared the hell out of the dude, right? But, I just thought it was funny. It was like I was at the Roundhouse in Camden Town in London. I was delivering a classic rock award to John Mayall. I had been asked to come there to deliver him a Lifetime Achievement Award for the Eric Clapton Beano album.
Right.
And after I delivered it to him, somebody tapped me on the shoulder and I turned around and it was Jimmy Page.
No.
And he said to me, "Walter Trout, I've heard your work and I think it's wonderful."
Oh.
And my first thought was, again, I want to say something to this guy. I don't want to go, "Oh my God, oh, thank you." So I said, "Hey, Jimmy Page, man, I've heard your work. I think it's wonderful." And thank goodness he started laughing and he walked away. It made him laugh. "Yeah, Jimmy Page, yeah, I've heard your work too, man. I think it's wonderful."
Oh, that's great. That's great. Well, listen, you be safe, and thank you so much for hanging with us on the Bear Facts. And
good luck with your album, man. It's a great, great album, great songs, great players, and it was really an honor for me to be part of it. And thank you for asking.
oh, it's a pleasure, man. And I wish you all the luck in the world and more #1 records. And hopefully you and I can write another one and I can be a part of your life and you can come and play on some of my new stuff and we'll go.
I'd love to do it, man. Let's do it. And hopefully sooner rather than later, life is going to get back to normal and we can go out and play gigs and be among the people and make records and be musicians that play for people, because that's really what it's about.
Well, I love you, my brother. Thanks very much for doing this, and all the best to Marie and the kids and everybody, and peace and love.
Thanks, Richard. Take care. Bye-bye.